this is like fun with other, running friends. So I'm like, I'm going to do it because I knew it would put me in a good mood.
You are my BRF.
What's happening, Eric?
There for your victory lap.
Yeah.
Oh!
How did you do
How did you do that?
And all of a sudden I go to zip it up and I'm like, why is the zipper in the front right now? 0 out of 10 on the recommendation scale.
I am literally crying from laughter and from so much love. Oh my God.
It's like I see off for your cornhole.
And he just smashed Arnie like that and said, you stay out of this, Arnie. And I thought,
But I don't run to stay sober. I get to run because I am.
Ellen, there she was, a halo over her head.
No, it's not very true. Okay.
And he steps to the side and just gestures. Here's the tinkle pot.
I don't need to tinkle.
1, 2, 3, 4. What's up, everybody? And welcome to episode 170 of the On the Runs podcast. And happy Tuesday, the best day to make better than yesterday. I hope everyone was able to stay dry this weekend as it rained again for the 13th weekend in a row. We got an absolute amazing guest on today's episode, but before we get to her, I need to say hello to my kick-ass rock star of a co-host, 6-star Erika. What's up?
I freaking love it, dude. What's up? I am so happy that we're back to our regular scheduled programming.
We are not. Well, we are back to
Tuesday.
our original. Well,
yes.
We're recording on a Monday night, and
It is the usual.
it's going to be a late night because I have only edited 22 seconds of today's episode so far. 22 seconds. You know how long it took me to do those 22 seconds?
2
About
hours.
3 minutes. So I have a long,
Oh boy.
long night. It is a great episode. Oh my God. Ellen is amazing. We're going to get to her soon. But
Yeah.
we have
I'm
a few
so
things
pumped.
to catch up on.
Yes, we do.
All right. Number 1. I want to show you something I got.
What do you got?
I got to take off my headphones here to do it, but I want to show you these.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about these babies?
There they are. Yep.
Oh,
Somebody's rocking
yeah.
a brand new pair of an old pair of his gooders, if that makes
That's
any
right.
sense. But
I originally
they
bought
look
these.
good, dude.
These are the Gooder wrapped, and they're called I Do My Own Stunts.
Mm-hmm.
I originally bought these not to look cool because, yes, I look cool. And some would say I look cooler than Ultra Chad, actually. Like that cool. But I bought
Start up
these
the feud.
for cycling.
Mm-hmm.
And I love them. And they look great with a bike helmet and everything. They kind of look what Nicole said. I am trying to be like Doc Brown and Back to the Future or Marty McFly.
Really? I don't
Right?
get
She
Doc,
says I
Doc
want to
Brown
be in the
vibe.
movie or something wearing these.
Mm.
I freaking love these. And I had the other ones for about 2 years, and they got just at one point they get dinged up enough where you don't care, and then they get dinged up more and more
Mhm.
and more.
How you can
And-
even see out of them, I don't know. I think I brought that up and you're like, I can't see out of these. So,
Well, I actually could for the longest time. They just didn't
Mhm.
look sharp on the outside,
Ah.
but they looked great on the inside, which was surprising for Gooder because my opinion on Gooder, remember, I sold sunglasses for 8 years.
Mhm.
I know good sunglasses and what goes into them, and good sunglasses don't cost $35. They
Mhm.
cost a lot more.
Yeah.
They don't cost the $300 you're spending on them, but they definitely cost over like way over 30 to make. And there's all
Of
these
course.
layers that go. Maui Jim, by the way, are the best sunglasses you could buy quality wise. Maui Jim sunglasses.
Good to know.
They don't look the best on me, but they are the best. Long story short, I was surprised how well they did and lasted for 2 years. So, but I had an amazing person buy me these sunglasses, and I just wanted to thank her live on the podcast. So 6-star Erika, thank you so much for making me look cool.
You are most welcome. And I actually went a little above and beyond that. I have a case for you that those will fit in, so they
Oh.
will stay not scratched, because I will be very angry if those go the way of your other ones. So
I'm actually
take care of
surprised
them.
you found these because they're no longer on the website. So
well,
you,
yeah, because I had
you
to
found them
ask
through
you.
Millennium Running.
Yeah. So, so Gooder had an awesome Memorial Day sale. It was like 20% off everything. So I'm like, oh, this is a good excuse to like look for the sunglasses. And of course, I had to ask you, what the hell are they called? Couldn't even think of which ones they were. So I had to double check. And yeah, lo and behold, Millennium was the local place that had them, because you found another place and I just didn't want to pay for shipping. So I was like, hey, I'll get
I think
these
it was
for
like
you.
rei.com.
Yeah. I was like, if you go pick these up. They're yours. I'll pay for them. Happy early birthday. Go rock them. And
I
yeah,
love it.
support
Thank you for
support
doing
local
that.
businesses too. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm glad you like 'em.
100%. So thank you for doing it. If anyone else wants to buy me some, they're the gooder wrapped. I do my own stunts. I could use extras in case
He needs
anything
like
happens.
12 pairs.
Then I can be like, no, Erica, they're in great shape. See? Or I'm a 9.5 shoe size if anyone wants to buy me running shoes, or just donate some slightly used ones for me to wear.
Or they could also donate to your Team Force NYC fundraiser. That's always a good gift.
Also buy. We have sponsors on this podcast. They could
Lots of
support our
options.
sponsors. My Race Tats and Right Socks. Check the show notes for the affiliate links. And whatever you buy, 15% of your purchase goes towards my New York City fundraising. And now we have multiple purchases on My Race Tats, which is cool because I see when people buy them. That's so cool. We got to get some Right Socks in here, guys. I don't know if anyone's bought in socks yet, but these socks are awesome. I wore them all day yesterday. Actually, I have 2 pairs and I need more now because
very nice.
There's nothing better than putting on a pair of fresh new socks. It is so amazing. if like you asked if I could have an unlimited amount of like one practical thing, what would it be?
You pick socks?
I pick socks. I think socks and fresh underwear, right?
Yeah, I would pick the underwear. You would pick the socks.
That's right. The question was socks or underwear. I picked the socks.
Yep.
Because, man, yeah, I could rock underwear forever with holes in it. It's fine. It feels fine.
I'm learning a lot about you, my
nothing better
friend.
than a fresh pair of socks. So go get yourself some Right Socks. Go get yourself some My Race Tats. They're amazing. Support those who support us. Firefly, I haven't done the check yet, but I am going to. Probably by next week, I'll have tried them out. I'll let you know.
Hope so,
and
yeah.
I am working on my co-host to work on her connection.
Still working on it.
Still working on it.
Still working on
how
it.
long that lasts.
Yeah, that locked and loaded, you guys.
I meant to do the crickets on that one.
Oh, no, it was pretty good. You nailed that one.
All right,
I'll give
cool.
it to you.
Hey, you know how else you can support us and help us? I won't say I'm never going to use this money towards my own running shoes, but we have a new Patreon.
Ooh,
And
I'm
so excited to welcome to the Patreon family, Mike Bauer. What's up, dude?
Nice. I know Mike's been out there rocking the On the Runs playlist, and he's been queuing up our show. So thank you, Mike. That's awesome.
Mike is
of you.
awesome. Mike has the last name of my favorite hockey brand, Bauer.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's in the family, Mike, but if you have any connections, I can tell you I love the
He's
Bauer.
already
neck to
giving us
skate.
money. He doesn't need to give you free hockey shit too.
Well, you know what? I don't need it because I think my playing days are over. My refereeing days are, I wouldn't say over, but
Would you ever
I
do a
haven't
pickup
refereed
league or
game since
something?
March of 24.
What about like a rec league? Like
I would
Sarah
love
Halleck
to.
plays in a league
I would
somewhere.
Love to. I just when
Yeah, you have a point. You gotta wait till your kids
because
grow
I
up.
spend my nights now working this Monday night media train, and
Yep.
I need to tell you. Let me just tell you now. Let me tell you about my meeting
Mm-hmm.
because we had a meeting today.
Oh yes, that I could not make because
Again.
the sperm bank had me.
I
busy
did
at
not
work, so.
tell. I did not tell the person on the other end.
I'm
of the
glad you
meeting
did
what
it. It's not a sperm bank. It's not.
But anyways, I had a meeting. For full disclosure, I'm not going to say who it was with, but it's been my favorite thing lately. This year, I've had more meetings than we've ever had with people in the life of this podcast.
Mhm.
So it was amazing. And I'll tell you why it was amazing. These meetings typically 30 minutes max. Like I remember when I had my meeting with the Boston Run Show, it was like we just hit our 30 minutes. They had to go. They had a schedule. I get
Yes.
that. This one went 20 minutes long, 50 minutes, 20 minutes longer. So we made
Longer.
it 50. You know how I talk about Dirty Mo Media in my vision of Monday Night Media and how I use Dirty Mo as an example and Barstool as an example. Not really Barstool, but I use their Spit and Chicklets podcast as an example of our structure.
Mhm.
I explained this to this guy and I said, have you ever heard of Dirty Mo Media? Only once in my entire life has someone else seen that hoodie I wear and knew exactly what it was.
Did he
And
light
this
up?
guy knew instantly. He goes, oh yeah, I listen to them all the time. They're the best. Big NASCAR guy. And I was like, no way. It was such a cool connection. Whether nothing happens with this brand or not,
Mhm.
like we built how I feel that we built this connection already outside the podcast where
Yeah.
we're going to meet at the NASCAR race.
It's always nice when you vibe with someone. You
Right.
just find someone and you click.
I said, come to the camper, check it out. Eventually, like, grab yourself a camper and stay in the same area as us because we get 4 spots for our 2 campers. We always make like them shaped as a horseshoe when we have a third.
Yeah.
It's great. What
Nice.
what a conversation we had. He loved the vision and the dream of this. And I explained, like, listen, you said a couple things that we could do. Here is our vision, and then we'll collab, work together, do things like. I love these meetings. I'm okay that you missed them, but I wish you could listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have
don't
to work on that.
Well, and because I think you already know the vision, you know the brainchild, you know the passion project. But man, I love having these meetings now. They've been so amazing. Whether I'm having a meeting with Ali G or Hillary when we talk about building their podcast, another Hillary, shout out running up that Hillary just started her podcast. I even had a meeting with her just to kind of consult and let her run things off me. What do you think of this and that? What about equipment? How should I do this? Like, I had that meeting already, which I would love to do more of those like consulting type things. I absolutely dug it up. It was great. And let me tell you, this meeting, a big part of it was because you went out and got it. And if you really want to go down that trickle tree, is because of pterodactyl. If you want to do all the things like Kevin Bacon, like you could do it. And it's amazing how
of separation.
Yeah, but it's amazing how all those dots aligned and how every little thing happens. So it was pretty awesome. But you know what else is awesome?
Our guest today. Oh my God. I don't want to play favorites, but she's up there.
You two vibed. Like this went again. I think we scheduled her for an hour. We always do 75 minutes, an hour 15. This one went like an hour 45.
And
I might have to cut some of it out.
Hey, you do what you have to do, but I love her so much. Ellen just has so much vibrancy to her. She's funny. She's just so energetic. And God, I could honestly talk to her for hours.
She's fantastic. You guys are going to love her. I'm so happy she reached out. Another 777 girl.
Yup.
We love our 777 people. They're amazing. So guys, enjoy Ellen on the podcast, and we'll see you on the other side to talk the Pitt, Goffstown Gallop, and so much more. Our next guest on the pod just ran the Boston Marathon, and her training plan was to run 7 marathons in 7 continents in 7 days and then not run again until Marathon Monday. That's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see and hear how it played out. She's from the state of hockey. She's quick-witted and uses humor for her fuel. We are wicked excited to welcome Ellen Hunter Gans to the On the Runs podcast. What's up, Ellen?
Doing well. How are you?
Did I get it right? How many tries is
time's
that?
a charm.
Oh my God.
That was like 5 or 6. You know.
Close enough, right?
4's fair.
Yeah, that has to be the whole intro. If it
That's
everyone
your
will
blooper.
notice
if you want to know what we're talking about, go to the freaking blooper, guys. That was awesome. Hey, I think no one better to have it happen to than you because you're funny as shit. I love
bold
you
move,
already.
Cotton.
Well, I was going to say, it's like me at Boston. Like, you got there eventually. It wasn't pretty, but, you know.
Right,
you got
right.
there.
Love
Yeah.
that analogy.
I don't think Erika knew that you ran the 777 and then didn't run again until the Boston Marathon. We'll get into that, but
That was news to me.
yeah.
I tried once. I did. I don't know
And
if
it
that
didn't go
counts
so
for
good.
anything. Not so good. Not so good. Yeah.
But hey, one thing I mentioned, you're from the state of hockey, and I was just in the state of hockey for work. I'm going back. I wish I knew you were in Minnesota. I thought Minnesota was awesome when I'm there, but tell us a little bit about you, Ellen. Minnesota girl, born and raised, or no?
Yeah, born and raised. I've been here my whole life except for grad school, and I love it here. So lots of green space, lots of lakes, lots of terrible accents like mine. Although I will say my husband's from a farm in Minnesota, and for some reason my accent is worse than his, even though I'm from the city. So that's really one of life's unfair things. But yeah, I'm sure my accent will give your listeners plenty to cringe about.
So does that mean
can't be any worse than Eric and his mispronunciations.
I was in Minnesota. I was in the Twin Cities. Is that where you are?
Yes, sir.
So I bought my boys, I'm sure you know because you follow, but I have twins. And I bought the Minnesota Twins t-shirts that just say Twins on it. I think it's awesome. I'm a Red Sox fan
That's
here. But
adorable.
I was like, I have
Love
to
it.
get these t-shirts for the boys.
Yeah, you have to. You must. Good job. What? So you were here for work, yeah?
Yeah. I
Almost
was up
said
in.
I really almost said eh.
I'm sorry. What?
I almost just said you're here for work, eh? Which is just that's a bridge too far with the accent.
Roll with it,
you
Ellen.
know.
I love
Some
it.
hot dish.
I thought that was more of a not Minnesota. Maybe it is Minnesota. I was thinking,
Canada?
what's the no? Well, yeah, that's Canada, but Wisconsin. I thought it was a Wisconsin thing.
Same.
There's a guy I follow on Instagram and all that who does the 1 day living in Wisconsin, 2 days, and then by a week he's like, oh, 1 week living in Wisconsin, you know.
Oh, sure.
I thought it was more.
I thought that was like a Fargo, like a North Dakota or South Dakota thing. Like,
Well,
don't
that's
you know?
how it's.
Isn't that one?
That's how
That we're
everyone
keeping-
knows the accent is from the movie Fargo. So yes,
That
we
would be
eat
it.
hot
Mhm.
dish and put people in wood chippers. That's what we're known for. So
So we're gonna stay on Ellen's good side.
It's all the general area that you're in because it,
Yes.
it's just kind of that dynamic, that GR. I can't talk about words. It's all that kind of area in which, speaking of which, you're under like a
Yes.
tornado warning right now. We might have a tornado live on the pod.
Oh no.
yeah,
Is this common?
Yeah, so, I mean, in the summer, every now and then, yeah. I mean, this is our preferred natural disaster. You know, we don't get hurricanes or anything, but we get some tornadoes. So, like I said, I'm downstairs, so I'm safe. It's my family that's screwed if a tornado comes through. So, but yeah, make sure to dial up firefighter Bex in Wales if you see all of a sudden my camera disappear. See how quickly she can get over here.
We'll get her on the line, but just to know, your family is more than welcome to be a guest on the pod as well. So the more the merrier.
Careful
The
what you
safer
wish
the better.
How many are you there? You got married, kids? You living with your parents still? What are you doing?
Now, husband and 2 boys. They're 9 and 11. So, yes, they're fun.
Have kids, they said, right, Erika?
It'll be fun.
I
they
don't
said.
have kids. You guys can keep them. You're good.
Although I will say, with your twins, I really do mean it that it gets easier. It does. Although my son did jump out the window the other night, so you know, you win some, you lose some.
Was that on a dare or something? Like,
Or was he sneaking out?
I think he just wanted to see if he could get out. Yeah, and
testing
he
the
could,
waters.
as
I
it turns
think.
out, he was successful.
Oh
Yeah.
boy! Oh boy! Gonna be a
Yep.
handful.
So, hey, we'll get into it, but you did just run Boston a week ago from when we're recording right now. How are you feeling?
Run is too strong of a word for what I did.
You
I
did pretty good
locomoted
because you passed us
Boston.
at a moment of a lot of people. You weren't in the back, that's for sure.
Well, I will say I've never been that far back at Boston. I was so impressed with how many spectators were still out there. Like, obviously I knew Boston has a great crowd support, incredible crowd support, but I couldn't believe people were still out there. I will say the Boston college kids were a little looser than I've ever seen them by that point. So, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It went all right. Like I wasn't trained up enough or had a intact leg enough to like take it fast. So similar philosophy to the 777 that I feel like speed kills. So yeah, I'm doing all right.
Still getting it done. I'm very proud of you for
Mhm.
doing that. Even I know how difficult it is doing it with any sort of injury, but hey, it's Boston. Like if you
No,
feel the
you
same
gotta
way
do
that
it.
we do about it, it's kind of like the pinnacle, and you just make it through.
I know. Like my mom and everyone else was like, do you have to do this? Like, is someone making you?
It's like,
No.
Ma, look at all the
got
medals
it.
behind me,
You got
Ma. I got to get another one this year.
I know. Like
Beautiful
I tell my sons that people who are actually good at something don't need to brag about it, which is why like Hillary and Bex on here are aggressively humble. And I'm like, look at that. Look at that.
If you could only see my basement, Ellen, like I am ridiculous. So
That's
don't
why
feel bad.
I have none of my
I
medals
like
hanging
revel
up.
in all that stuff.
I have a medal right here on the floor, so I must be really
I've
freaking
got all
awesome,
my race
man.
Good.
posters. I've
Right.
got like
you don't have to
Flying
brag.
Pig. There's a
Right.
Boston.
I did notice the flying pig. I like that. Yeah.
There's a Chicago. Like that's how I brag. Oh hey, you
I
like
got
those? Yeah,
I got a hat from Mexico, a Dale Earnhardt hat, and I got what I'm really proud of, our foundation, which maybe this means I'm not a good podcaster.
right
Oh
there.
no.
You're great, dude. You're doing a
I'm
great
not
job.
judging. I'm not
Hey,
judging.
so one thing I want to know from your perspective, because you're the first runner we've really talked to since Boston. What was your perspective of the mile 19.2 on the runs cheer section from someone who's never seen it before too?
It was awesome. And I noticed you folks right away. And it took my slow brain a second to process, but I heard you all before I realized who it was. And so my first thought was just like, all these people have a lot of energy. And like I said, impressive to still have that much energy after being out there. I mean, the winners probably watched Titanic twice and took a nap. And I was still at mile 19. So like awesome to still be out there. And then when I realized it was you folks, I, circled back. That's why the race took me so long, was because of that extra few steps.
You had to turn back, because I remember seeing a lot of people, a lot of things just happen. Maybe we were kind of getting ready for our little skit with Beard Erika. And I remember being about 5 feet back, and I heard you say to someone, must have been Erika, "Hi, I'm Ellen, and I'm coming on the podcast with you next week." And my ears perked up. And I was like, no way. Oh my God, it's you. But I remember being like,
my reaction. I was like, holy shit, no way.
I was like, Erika, she's coming on next week. That's the one.
The one.
The one.
That was super, super cool, Ellen.
Yeah, it was
I
awesome
was very,
to see you all.
I was very happy that like we had people we were tracking, but we were just missing people left and right, and just you stopped and you said hello, and I was just super thankful that you did that, because a lot of people just kind of went on their way and like were like lost in the sea of people, but you actually took a minute, and I gotta thank you for that, because that's not an easy thing to do during the middle of a race, to stop and say hello. And very friendly, and I loved it.
It was a shuffle fest for me, and in fact, the thing on me that was the most sore right after was this front part of my arm. And it's because I think I high-fived like 10,000 people. So yeah, like I woke up the next day and I was like, what did I do to my shoulder? I'm like, no, that is a high five injury. So yeah, no, but so it was great. I mean, I figured if I was going to do it, I wanted to just enjoy it and soak up Boston. You never know when it's going to be your last time there. So yeah, the crowd was amazing.
Let's hope it's not. Fingers crossed. But that's an awesome mindset to have during a race like that.
How many Bostons have you run?
This was number 8.
Number 8. And so do you have a goal of trying to do it every year, or is this like 8 random ones?
No. In fact, I think I've told my husband 6 times that I was done. So
yep.
Yeah, I have quite a history with that race, but I feel like if I qualify, I feel legally and morally obligated to do it, but we'll see.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we hear that story? How did you become such this epic runner? Give us the Ellen running story. What led up to 777? What led up to 8 Boston marathons? And what were some of the other fun times you've had running, good or bad, or even the Code Browns?
Some of that. That's a big question. So I mean, I have no business being a runner in general. I grew up in a family of talented endurance athletes, and I might be the milkman's kid. I'm not sure, because I am super uncoordinated, like not talented. My family would, do all these backpacking trips and endurance things, and I would just whine the whole time. I did 1 year of JV track when I was a freshman in high school, and I was so bad the coach never bothered to learn my name. I don't blame him. And that's it.
Rude.
I've never had if you had been my coach, you probably wouldn't have either. You would have been, hey, you. So, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm not talented, but I'm very stubborn, and I didn't do, so I've actually never, to this day, I've never had a running coach, unless you count that JV track, and never.
I wouldn't. Not at that point.
Well, and it drives like my people who know what they're doing running crazy, because I'll say things like, hey, did you know that your feet are supposed to land underneath you? Like when you're doing running strides? And they're like, yeah, I did know that. That's pretty basic. And I'm like, this is fascinating information. 38 marathons in. But my brother and his wife, Sarah, who did the 777 with me, she's an actual athlete. They rode their bikes across the whole country this summer before I studied abroad in London. And I guess I must have not been okay having them have the spotlight on them, because I was like, you know what, I'm going to sign up for a marathon. And my family was like, you could do like a 5K. That'd be cool. And
start small, but nope.
yeah, no. So I signed up for Grandma's in Minnesota. It was my first marathon.
Okay.
That was 21 years ago. And I was studying abroad when I was training, and we were lucky enough to live like right on Hyde Park. So I just kept doing slow laps in Hyde Park. And I would also route myself to like food markets for all the free samples.
Smart.
Yep. So that was my first marathon. And then I just I was hooked on them. So kept signing up for other ones. And Sarah and I have recently mostly switched to ultras, which benefits me because I'm not fast, just
Power
really stubborn.
walking. Yes.
So, really stubborn. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I love ultras, because of the snacks, and also like there's no pressure to go fast. Seriously, you're going the distance, so speed is not really a factor.
Right. So Boston, it never occurred to me that I could even come close to qualifying. I was just sort of trying to, finish and soak up a good time, my first several. But then I will say I once dropped 19 minutes off my marathon PR the morning after doing like a flight of beers. And now that's like a tradition. I have to have a beer the night before the marathon, which was difficult during the 7-7 because I'd be like, okay, I just finished another marathon. I have another one in like 5 hours. I'm really going to have a beer right now. But anyway, so I did finally qualify for Boston. And then on my last long run before my first Boston, I slipped on some black ice in Minnesota and broke my leg.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I obviously didn't do that year. That was 2012. And the next year I was pregnant with our first son, and my midwife gave me the go ahead to run, but said I had to take it super easy. So I took it super easy and was really enjoying the day, and then was stopped a quarter mile before the finish line when the bombs detonated.
Wow.
So, and my sister-in-law was in the finishing chute.
Oh my gosh.
So that was obviously pretty wild and awful. And I actually didn't get up the courage to bring my family back to Boston with me until the 2022 race. And I didn't realize until partway through the race that the son that I'd been pregnant with in 2013 was 8, which is the same age as the little boy, Martin Richard, who was killed in the bombing. It's really hard to run while you're crying. But yeah, so that was a lot. I did end up being able to do 2014, the year Meb won, which was awesome vibes. It was really great to see the community come together. But like I had a newborn, I was super undertrained. I finished, but it was ugly. And then I didn't go back until 2018, which was the year of like the monsoon.
I was there that year. That was my Boston, my one and only, and it was freaking terrible.
Wait, that's the only one you've done? Oh my gosh, that's awful. Okay.
I would love
as
a
of
repeat,
now,
but hey.
as of now.
Dude, okay, I say, and I thought that this might change after the 777, but nope, I stick by this. Like between an Ironman, all the marathons that I've done, ultras, unmedicated childbirth, the 2018 Boston is easily the hardest thing I've ever done. Like none of the other ones come
validation.
Close. It was
I've never experienced
horrible.
anything like that either.
I'm sorry,
that
Erica,
was
my
something else.
headphones aren't working. I don't know. It was just whatever.
No, seriously,
I'm
be
just
validated. Kidding. It was horrendous. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you for finishing
the only
that one.
one who
That one
said
was
that.
real.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It was god awful. I see people like pictures of it of people wearing shorts, and I can't fathom how they did that. I was frozen.
Yeah.
I was wearing probably so many layers, and I was completely saturated, and that didn't help. And I was frozen solid by the end of it. So whoever wears shorts, good for them.
It was nuts. And again, I'm from Minnesota. Like I voluntarily go for runs when it's like 20 or 30 below zero. And I was not at all prepared for that race. Like I remember looking back, I definitely was hypothermic by like mile 4 or 5. And I remember I got it in my head that I couldn't drop out because I was sure I was going to die. And I'm like, the people, even the people in the medical tents, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, they can't help me. I have to get to the finish. Only those people can help me. And I was convinced that was the case. So I finished, but I spent like 2 hours in the medical tent with hypothermia. And like, after a couple hours on their medical grade heaters, my core temperature was like 93. I mean, it was nuts. So
holy shit.
Anyway, yeah, had a much better experience in the subsequent Bostons. I did 19
yes.
19, 20, and 22, and 24, and then this one. So yes, good times since then.
Wow, that is just it's such bonkers times you could have at Boston. It could be like you said, 30 degrees, raining, absolutely terrible, and it could be like the perfect day, especially the one where Meb won. We love Meb. So, oh my gosh, all over the map.
You've done Boston 8 times. What about the other worlds?
New York and Chicago. And I wish I would have done London because I moved back for grad school. So I lived in London for a couple of years, and I don't know why I didn't try for it, but now I'd love to get back to that one. And I'd love to do all of the worlds. It's not necessarily a bucket list thing, but at this point, again, since Sarah and I mostly do ultras, I feel like marathons, I'm attempting to limit it to Boston, or one where I can pace or help somebody else out, or one that's just I'm doing it for a cool experience. So yeah.
Awesome.
Now Sarah's your sister-in-law, right?
Yeah.
So how did the two of you build this like running bond together?
Well, it happened over time. So she and my brother got married when they were basically toddlers. So they've been, so she came into my life when I was, I think, 16. She actually has the same birthday as me, different years. Hey. So I got a birthday twin at 16. But she is like an actual athlete, like, ran competitively, and elite cross country skier, as is my brother. And I was definitely not. But we didn't start running much together. They lived in Alaska for several years. We didn't start running much together until the last few years, and realized that we're, especially in ultras where it's more of like a chat and shuffle situation, that we're just really good partners because we'll distract each other. And we both like the sort of adventure and experience side of things, and we're not particularly competitive about it. We just are there for the experience. So I feel really grateful to have somebody like that in my life. So we refer to each other as partners in questionable endurance sports, PICUS.
I love that. Kind of makes me think of Leslie and Emily, Erika.
Yep. They are definitely two peas in a pod.
So Erika here is our ultra running queen. She has fallen in love with these ultra runs, mostly I think for the snacks and the walking, the run walking. So what are some of the cooler ultras you've done, or maybe some ones in your area that you love and suggest she could head out there and do herself?
Well, I mean, I've only done a few, but a handful of them, but they've all been pretty good experiences. If you're looking for one that's would bring you to the Twin Cities, there's an ultra, a time-based one, which is you can do 6, 12, or 24 hours, called Fans. It's first week of June. Yeah, I do too. I like that there's just sort of, it's up to you how long it takes. But we, let's see, we did a 100K in Nevada that was fun, except that was the one that made it clear to us that we should never attempt the Barkley Marathons, because it was like a really well-marked course. And I think we counted in 100K, we took 16 wrong turns.
No. That's like my worst nightmare, is getting lost somewhere on a course, because I am directionally challenged. I'm not good at that kind of thing.
Horribly directionally. And I'm way worse than Sarah too. So like, she might be able to survive, but I mean, they would find my corpse and I'd probably be like a third of a mile from the yellow gate that everybody passes through. And they'd be like, what happened to Ellen? Yeah. So anyway, not so good at the navigation.
That is not the only reason why I would not do Barkley. Is that one, it's just too extreme for me, especially all the climbing. I'm not a huge mountaineer, let's put it that way. Like I don't really hike very much, and all of those ultras with the the huge climbs and descents. Like I would roll down that mountain. That's
well, hey,
Why
who
not?
said you have to finish? You could show up and do one lap just for the experience. You don't have to,
I
like, most
mean-
people don't even make it past 3. Just show up and do one.
true.
Have that be your
I'll
A
be
goal.
the what do they call like the number one
Fun
bib
run?
is the sacrifice.
Yes.
Oh, the sacrificial. Yeah. No, I think you're
I
too
could-
good to be the sacrifice, though. Like
No.
you're.
It might
That
take me
has
the
to be-
60 hours to do one loop, maybe, but they'd probably find me and be like, where the hell were you? Hell if I know, buddy.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's our goal. Our goal now is to have the two of you get a license plate. Didn't it cost like $1 or something? And
Yeah.
you need a license plate. Get in, do a lap for the experience. That would be kind
Bro.
of cool.
Okay, but now my insurance company, my life insurance is not going to pay out because they're going to do some digging and find this podcast and be like, she knew that she was going to die. Like, yeah, we're
She
not-
did it anyway.
we're not
This is-
paying your family.
I know how
payout.
to avoid that. I just won't put your full name in the description. I'll misspell it because
You'll
I can't
shank
say
it,
it
I'm
correctly.
You're now
Yes.
Helen.
I'll call
You're
you
Helen for sure.
Helen.
Helen
You'll be
Cans.
Helen Elder Cans.
Your alter ego. There
Helen
you go.
Cans is my for sure my
Helen
alter
Your
Cans.
ego.
ultra ego. Ooh.
Nailed it.
Yes.
We got
yes.
Love it.
Maybe we'll get a life insurance policy for Helen Cans as well.
Helen would never get a life insurance policy. No, she is a liability.
Ellen is
No.
reckless.
Well,
There's a
you've
pile
done
of
some
red
pretty
flags.
crazy epic stuff, and I think your sister-in-law has done most of them because didn't she do the 777 with you?
She sure did. Yeah.
I need to know whose idea that was. Who dragged you into
Who's
it? Were
the
you
bad
the bad
influence
idea?
here between
Yeah.
the two of you?
Okay. I should have known. I should
Yeah.
So
have
how does this work? Are you like you see something and you send it to her from Instagram, you DM her and you're like, "All right, let's do this," and she's like, "Game?" Is she a
Yes.
yes person and just says okay to whatever you want to do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we enable each other. Like she got me into a Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim, which again, I'm so uncoordinated. It is amazing that I didn't do the 6-second tour of the Grand Canyon where you just fall. So anyway, we get each other into things. But in the case of the 777, we'd been training for 100. And so we had a pretty good base of training. And like many other people, again, David Kelly with those Instagram ads, I had been targeted in some ads. And then I was doing a Peloton run with Bex Gentry and she mentioned it. And it sort of, like other people have said, felt like the universe was sending me a sign.
I think David
And-
needs to pay Bex for that when she said it because you're not the only one.
I know that's like what solidified it. And I had always thought that I would probably wait till I was an empty nester to do some super big grand adventure. But like, not to be a downer about this, but I have a connective tissue disorder, a genetic one that I have no idea what my body's going to be like in 10 years. And it'll be 10 years when I'm an empty nester. And then also my father, another big downer, has like late stage Alzheimer's, but his cognitive impairment kicked in his 50s. And so I have no, total carpe diem. I'm like, seize the day.
Mm-hmm.
Universe sent me these messages. I need to do this. So anyway, we were supposed to do this 100-miler. And I took Sarah and I went to a Foo Fighters concert in the Twin Cities last summer. And I waited until she'd had an adult beverage and was like, so I have a confession to make. I said, I will crew you for the 100, but I cannot do, it was like a 5-loop course. I said, I can't do all 5 loops with you because it was only like 2.5 weeks apart from the 777. And I am not, I know there are some people out there that could easily pop from one to the other. Absolutely not. Like, wasn't going to be me. And so I said, I can't do the whole thing. She said, why not? And I said, because I'm going to be doing this thing instead. And she immediately goes, oh, I want to do that too. So we both ditched the 100 and set forth for this instead.
I was going to ask, I'm like, is Sarah one of those people who you were talking about who could just pop from one thing to another? But I'm glad she was like, all right, this is a way more epic experience and decided to do that with
Much
you.
more than I could. She probably could have done both. I didn't stand a chance, but
That's a lot.
it's a lot. Yeah. I'm like, I probably would still be like bleeding after the 100 by the time the 777 started. So yeah. Anyway.
What was the interview process like for the two of you and David?
I mean, the first time I talked to David, he said that he'd stalked me a little bit. And it would not have been difficult to look Sarah up and see like, okay, she's going to be fine. But by the time I talked to him, I guess he'd stalked enough to say like, you are reasonably unlikely to die. And so, he seemed pretty encouraging, and we jumped in we jumped in really late in the process. So, I think probably he needed to hear that we had a base of training for 100-miler. And I had just done like, I think 85 miles at a timed event earlier that year. And so, he probably didn't know how slow I was, but he at least figured that I had the mental strength. And that's always my thing. Like I don't think I have any athletic talent at all, but for some reason I have an ability to like get in the pain cave and just dig in and hold on. So
that is so important. That is often the hardest part to get through. So good. Yeah. I'm glad you have that. You can just suck it, pain cave. I'm going to do what I want.
It's true. Suck it, pain cave. I want that on a shirt.
Something I said during my intro that I absolutely aced was that you use humor for your fuel. So sometimes when you get in that pain cave, are you using humor at that moment or during those times to keep you motivated and going?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, my therapist would say it's a problem, but I 1000% rely on humor. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, and I'm known for having just like a stupid grin on my face constantly during events like this. And I like asking people, spectators, if I'm winning. But I realize, just like obviously as a joke, I mean, I'll say that when it's very clear that like, the ambulance is right behind me and I'll be asking if I'm winning. But sometimes I've now gotten into some crazy events where I realize I have to be a little careful because people will look at me kind of concerned, like, oh shit, like, should we tell somebody? Like, should we have someone check on her? I think she thinks she's winning. Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate that more people don't get that sense of humor. Like I could have used you during my last ultra. I think I cried the last 20 miles of it. So I could have used the up. I had no up.
I tried to provide an up and you just said, dude, not now.
I said, don't record me, because that's all you wanted to do. But anyways, I got over
no wonder that didn't work. What's wrong with you?
I was like 100 feet away and she goes, dude, I'm not in a mood. Blah, blah, blah. And then I showed up later trying to get a discreet video and she saw me and she goes, I'll come back in a minute, guys. I need to go take a shit.
I did actually, and that was great. But I did that more for like the humor of it too.
Like, that's why
I was going to say the last thing she needed was somebody being like, how are you doing? Are you in pain? Did you shit your pants? Is it going well?
I was getting B-roll. It was just B-roll.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good crew chief there. He did good, but
I was actually trying to get a video of the boys who were there cheering you, saying "Go, go."
He's done better in the past. That was just a low point for me, but
I've
humor
never seen
definitely
you at that
helps.
Point. I don't mean to take this away from Helen and Ellen, but I'd never seen you at that point.
That's because I didn't have the skills of bringing myself up with humor at that very moment. So it's very important. That's what I was getting at.
So back to Helen Gans here.
Yep.
777.
Awesome.
You and your sister-in-law Sarah, you fly out to Cape Town. You're getting ready. Let me ask you this question. You had a wide range of runners there. You had the amazing runners like Ashley Paulson and Bex. And then you had some runners who have never run a marathon before, like Justin and Bex, the firefighter. Where did you see yourself in between all those runners, you and your sister-in-law? Were you like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Or were you like, maybe, okay, I'm not that bad because these people have never even run a marathon before. I'm going to be okay.
Oh, definitely more towards the former. And I also figured, like, even though I was surprised to hear that, people, I mean, firefighter Bex was one of the ones I talked to specifically who said that she'd never run one, but like also she had just friggin' walked to the South Pole. Like, obviously she was qualified to be there. So, yeah, I mean, if I were the sort of person who was humble enough to have imposter syndrome, I would have had it for sure. But definitely more on the side of what are we doing here? And especially because our seats on the plane were in what we called Olympians Row, because it was like Sarah, me, Bex Gentry, Ashley Paulson, Jenny was in front of us, Hillary was right here, and Shireen was right here. And so Sarah and I were like, so we're going to be dragging down the average finish time of this section by about 90 minutes. Yep.
That's not bad.
Well, and everyone else had all like their super fancy gear and everything. And Sarah and I've got our like Amazon clearance, like blow up boots that the instructions weren't in English. And, but it was fine. And I was thrilled at how genuinely nice and down to earth and humble everyone was. And I'm not just saying that, like if they were buttheads, I just wouldn't say anything, but they really were all super humble and nice. And, so it didn't feel as weird as you would think, but we very, very much were like, all right, well, we're the B squad, or maybe the F squad. But I was just worried about like getting, with the time thing, like the fact that it's not just you have 8 hours to do it, it's like wheels up in 8 hours. That part's crazy. Yeah. So like that part, I was nervous going into it about like, am I going to be chasing the plane down the tarmac? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that didn't happen. Spoiler alert.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you made the plane all those times. But let's get into it. You wanna tell us a little bit about your experience with the 777?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, let's dive into it. Let's start with the first one, Antarctica. Were you even prepared? Because you sat in that meeting with David and he goes, "Hello, everybody," in his Irish accent. By the way, we're leaving at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And everyone's like, what? We weren't leaving for a couple more days. Now we're going tomorrow. Were you ready?
We totally thought he was kidding. Like we waited for him to be like, ha, just kidding. But this is one thing where being lazy really came in handy, because a bunch of other people had gone for like a kind of aggressive shakeout run that morning. And I was like, absolutely not. So I am so glad that I didn't, because like that was obviously surprising. But I mean, it's not like going one day early was going to make or break. I was not going to become a talented athlete in those 24 hours. So it kind of was what it was. Like, it was fine. We were surprised, obviously, but it was fine. But Antarctica was for sure the one I was the most excited about. I don't know if you know who Ernest Shackleton is. He's a polar explorer from the early 1900s. And I'm a huge nerd of his. Like, Endurance is maybe what you've heard of, but like their ship got stuck in Antarctica for like over a year. Anyway, so I've read everything there is to know. Yeah, well, so I've read everything there is to know about him, but for sure, my Antarctic knowledge was about 110 years out of date, because I was like, don't we need to take like a rickety wooden ship through the Drake Passage? And like, I didn't even know you could fly to Antarctica. And especially, I didn't know anything about inland Antarctica, because we were like way in there. So it was so surreal. I know other people have talked about this, but like there was like no dust and like no noise and no like little leaf fragments and no debris of any kind. Like, and
that's crazy.
It's like I've backpacked above tree line quite a bit. And so I think I thought that I would know what it would feel like to, just have like no trees or anything like that. But oh my gosh, it was so far beyond that. Like, it was, honestly, it felt like another planet. It was so surreal and so cool. So, yeah.
One thing that I didn't know about Antarctica that we heard from a couple of other people was that it's actually at a pretty high elevation. So how did you deal with the elevation? Did it bother you at all?
I feel like compared to everything else that was just sort of weird about the whole experience, like that didn't even really register, to be honest.
Well, that's good.
I think the most salient thing that Sarah and I noticed is, well, a couple of things. As cross-country skiers, we noticed right away and confirmed when we saw the machine that the snow was groomed by the exact same grooming machine that they use for the American Birkebeiner, which is like the largest cross-country ski race in North America. And we do it every year. So we're like, this looks like Birkie snow. And it's considered a huge offense to walk on that groomed snow because it's supposed to be reserved for skis. So the whole time we were going, this feels so wrong. Like we're walking on there, running or whatever on the, total sacrilege. So that was weird. But then the other one was, the sun was so intense that, like we were sort of running in a elongated rectangle, and when you would turn and face the sun, if there was no wind, it was legit hot. Like we were sweating and stripping off layers. Now, again, we're Minnesotans, but still. But then it's a good thing you didn't get rid of too many layers, because you turn, and if the sun was not directly, on your face, and especially if there was the breeze going, like it would get really cold again. So it was interesting. And they had warned us to have super polarized glasses. And again, like as a skier, the snow gets really bright and snow blindness is a real problem. But oh my gosh, at one point I like lifted up my lens to rub my eye and I screamed out loud because like it was so bright. It was physically painful. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's definitely not something I would think of either. Just, there's so many curveballs that it's throwing at you because you get the, I'm hot. Oh, wait, I'm freezing cold again. Like that kind of thing. But I heard you guys had a really great day overall, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like it was like not super windy, wasn't super cold. So that's great. But like, I wouldn't have even thought about how much like reflection the sun had off of the snow. Like that's just extra shit to worry about.
Extra shit. Yes. And the other thing I remember is like in Minnesota, we're so used to ice poking through the snow, like a thin layer of snow on top, but it's always just that gross, gray, brown, muddy ice. The ice, I'm looking around for something that's blue enough to demonstrate. Like it is the brightest blue. It looks like Disney fake background blue. It's crazy how bright blue the ice was. So anyway, Antarctica was my favorite one. And I think just probably mostly because of the sheer novelty factor. So yeah.
That's super cool.
Now, one of your sons wrote you a letter. Did he write you a letter for just that race or for every race?
They both my sons wrote me a letter for all 7 races. So yes. Pretty sure I have my spouse to thank for.
I thought it was cool how the letter was for this one, in particular, the Antarctica race. And he's like, go party with those penguins. Yeah. Except, like, there were no penguins where we were in Antarctica. But fortunately, Sarah and I had made it to a penguin sanctuary in Cape Town that we are just outside of Cape Town. So we did get to party with some penguins, just not in Antarctica.
That's super cool. I'm a little jealous.
That was a highlight for sure.
So if Antarctica was your favorite race, the best race, everything was great about it, the rest of it had to go downhill for you. Tell us about the rest of the 777. You fly to Cape Town. It's super hot out.
Yeah.
What was Cape Town and even go Australia like? What were those two?
Cape Town was they both were awesome. Cape Town was beautiful. We were right on the ocean, so it was pretty windy, but that turned it out to be a good thing because otherwise it would have been too hot. So that wind was welcome and beautiful course overlooking the ocean. And yeah, I have no complaints about that one. We were watching people parasail into the park right next to us. Cool. And and at one point it must have been like several schools worth of kids like walked by. I think they were doing some sort of walking field trip, but I think we walked by like, there must have been 1,500 kids walking by in a giant parade. And I didn't have to take care of any of them, which was my favorite part by far. And like, I don't know, I just kept getting like giddy about elements of it. Like, I think I couldn't believe we were really doing it. And there was this tour bus, those like hop on, hop off tour buses that big cities have. Yeah. This one had a big sign on it that said topless tours. And so I couldn't stop laughing every time I saw it because I saw it like, a couple dozen times. And I just kept thinking like, so many people must be really disappointed when they show up for that, because as far as I could tell, everyone had their shirts on. But I'm like,
good to know my head. That's not the only, like, I'm not the only one whose head went there because, of course.
Yeah,
like,
well,
how
and they
can it
must
not?
get some real dicey Google traffic. Yeah,
I
but
could see that.
anyway, Cape Town was fun.
So I have to jump in here and tell you something. You mentioned topless. I saw this is totally off topic.
This might be the most awkward transition of all time.
I
But have
saw
at it.
this ad, or not even ad, just this thing. Like someone says, like, I'm 39 years old and realized today in the movie Cars, the Disney movie Cars, as the truck is going to pull over for a rest stop, or he wants to pull over, it's a convertible. It's a restaurant that says convertible waitresses in Vegas or wherever. So it meant the waitresses are topless.
I wouldn't have picked that up. Wow.
I was like, oh my God. Some of the silly adult humor in these movies.
Yeah, they slip in a lot there.
I'm going to find this later. This is great. But yeah, sorry. Totally took you off track. You said topless. I saw
Okay,
this,
but
like,
now
2
you're going to
hours
be
ago.
sitting there Googling topless Pixar characters, and like you're going to end up on a list, dude.
Guess what? I already did. I found it.
He's on a list. No, he's already on a list.
You're already on a list. Yeah.
I know. I'm on the list. Here we go. Hold on.
I'm not
Share
here to kink
screen.
shame, man. Whatever you're into.
Topless cars. Here it is. Top down truck stop. All convertible waitresses.
Okay. All right.
Top down
pretty
truck
clever.
stop.
That's clever.
Come on, that's good.
Disney does put in like the adult jokes, which I think is awesome because like you got to make it fun for the adults too. It's not just for kids.
You definitely want to
But-
clear your search history, bro.
But you need to, you need to be like
late
smart
for
and
him.
thinking like, oh wait, you got to read those small things. Top down truck stop, convertible waitresses.
Yep.
All right, enough. Back on track. Sorry, Ellen Gaines, Canes.
God, you
How
can't
many
even
alter egos now you're shanking my alter ego.
I know.
Helen
go-
Cans.
I know. I
Kansas is
said the
alter
last
ego.
name right that time. I can't get it.
You
I
said
can't get it.
Canes.
But Ellen, I'll
Yep.
be respectable the rest of the time. Cape
Are you,
Town
though?
was absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, Cape Town's cool.
Cape Town was awesome.
Mhm.
And then you got on this wicked sweet airplane where you were in Olympic row
Yep.
flying around the world. What was the airplane like?
So we found out before that it was the same exact, not just same model, but same plane that the Rolling Stones used on their last tour. I know other people have
That's
mentioned that.
super cool.
And but like it didn't have any screens or Wi-Fi, which when I found that out, I actually found out the no Wi-Fi thing from a Peloton run that Bex Gentry did. She was my source for pertinent race information since I couldn't be bothered to actually read anything about it. Anyway, I was horrified because I'm like, that's like 90 hours alone with my thoughts, which
Ooh.
it's not always
I would
great
want that
in
for
there.
me.
So,
with my
but it
brain.
turns out that was like that element was fine, but it did, all the seats were lie flat, almost lie flat, not completely. But yeah, oh yeah, there's Ashley and there's Olympians Row.
Beautiful.
And me and Sarah dragging things down. So, yeah. So, but the Rolling Stones element was super cool. I resisted the urge to like bring a black light and try to find out where Mick Jagger had been, or, looking for like little bits of white powder where Keith Richards probably was. But don't sue me, the Stones. I'm kidding. That's a joke. No, the plane was cool. And we had fabulous staff on the plane. And I historically am not able to sleep on planes at all. And I travel a lot. So I did calculate that I spent more than twice as much time running as sleeping that week. But
Oh no.
it worked out. So
So
it's fun.
I was going to say first, like no internet, no screens, perfect. You'll just rest and sleep, but you were up most that time.
Yeah. Just contemplating my own mortality.
That had to suck. Honest to God, that had to suck. Especially because everyone else is sleeping and you're probably awake, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
I did spend a lot of time like with it being really quiet and like trying to move as quietly as possible. And I had downloaded at each stop, I would try to download some work to do. So I'd be able to fire it up without Wi-Fi. And so, I got some work done, and I did download like a couple of shows that I could watch like on an iPad or whatever. But for the most part, it was not as long as you would think, because you have the sort of after race shenanigans of getting everything resituated and settled, and then you're eating, and then you're attempting to rest and do your recovery stuff, and then you're eating again, and then the next thing you know, like you're having to do your prep for the next race, because they were so close together that you pretty much had to be ready to go when you got off the plane. It's not like you had a few hours to dink around.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it was not nearly as miserable as it sounds.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
I would have slept like a baby.
I love that for you.
I am with Ellen. I cannot sleep on planes, and I also have that irrational fear of farting on an airplane. I think that's like the most embarrassing thing
Didn't
ever.
we look this up before?
And
Wasn't this a phobia?
So yes, you did, and I forget what it is already too. But so I would be like mortified and like I don't know, just it would be too much to let me actually rest and sleep. But so with the lack of sleep that you had, how is your body feeling after? So you're 2 marathons in at this point. You're heading to Perth. How is your body doing? Like, were you trying to recover with those Amazon boots, and was it working? Were you feeling okay?
Yeah, I mean, given the back-to-back marathon aspect, I will say that and overall, I say this, like, the whole thing went way, way better than I anticipated. I for sure thought I would just be like bleeding and crying and everything by the end, nonstop, but that just wasn't the case. Like, the whole thing went way better than expected. And I attribute a big part of that to the fact that I did take it slow. I deliberately went about an hour and a half slower than my marathon PR.
Okay.
And some of them were even more like 2 hours slower. My fastest one was about an hour slower. But that was on purpose, because like I've been more sore after like redlining a 10K than I have after shuffling an ultramarathon. I don't know if that's been your experience, but so the people that I absolutely cannot wrap my head around are the ones who are just redlining every one of these. Like there is no way I could get up the next day after having pushed it that much. And the 777 totally confirmed that, yeah, like speed kills. The only reason I got through it was just having to be in chill mode. Yeah.
I think you played it very smart. I mean, you knew that you had to conserve some energy. You had to protect your muscles, like, because you got to do it again and again and again and again. So I respect you for being smart about it, and for just trying to take care of your body, like in advance, like you're going to get hurt, like you're going to hurt, but just trying to be a little bit less hurt.
Yeah. Well, and I think also just having the mindset of like, it's going to be uncomfortable. So it wasn't, I mean, it's not like I expected it to be like, breezy and easy. Yeah. Like we knew, we were taking on something pretty massive. Although I will say, like after Boston, the morning after Boston, Sarah and her daughter came out to Boston, and we were having like brunch the next morning. And even though I wasn't particularly sore, I said to her, I'm like, how did we get up and do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again? Like that's still kind of nuts.
That's the mental toughness you have. You just knew it was gonna suck, but you were ready for it, and you were gonna handle it no matter what it threw.
I guess. I guess.
Did you have the same feeling we thought? We kind of felt like this was summer camp between
totally.
all the runners.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely was adult summer camp. And for me, because between getting to Cape Town early and hanging out in Miami for a couple days after, this was the longest I'd been away from my kids. And so obviously I missed them a ton, but it also like, I'm a freelancer, so work never really disappears, but like I turned down all meetings for that 2 weeks as well. And so it really did feel, especially without the Wi-Fi on the plane or anything, it was just such an immersive, like, absolutely adult summer camp. And I know other folks have said the same on your podcast. So yeah.
You should write about it, because you are a professional writer.
You should. Actually,
Maybe you already started.
Yeah. I'm fortunate enough to have, I am a writer by profession, and I have a book contract that is actually due in June. So I got to get on my horse here. But it's not even about me. It's about just sort of the race in general. And so I got input from a bunch of participants, and
Super cool.
Yeah. And I'm going to be getting more. It's a good thing I work well under pressure, because.
So did you have this before the race, or was this like something that developed after?
I did not have the contract before the race. I went into it hoping that I would be able to do something written,
Right.
but I didn't know what that looked like. And and I was fortunate enough to be able to meet a publisher that ended up being interested. And so book writing is not the majority of my writing work, but still, it's a huge privilege, and I'm really excited to be able to write about it.
That's so cool.
You got to keep us posted. Yeah, I've got my whole like running book collection behind me, so I'll add it to the collection when it comes out. You have to let me know.
Please do.
Erika here is the big reader, but I'm actually super interested. I haven't read a book in forever, but I'm super interested in the process. And it seems like you're going through that now. And you know what? Maybe we'll save this for another date, like when the book comes out. But I would love to hear the process of this entire book. We've had a few writers on the podcast before who are professional or maybe even very amateur, and they're just doing it for fun because they love writing. So that'd be a lot of fun. I didn't know that. I knew you were a writer. I didn't know when I jokingly said you should write about it that you were legit currently writing about it.
I am.
Perfect.
Yeah. So it's probably not going to come out until early 2026, but yes, I will beg to be back on to do some promo.
You won't have to beg. Trust me.
I will say that this is weird though, because I interview people all the time for my work, and I'm always on the other side of things. So this is not my comfort zone.
It's not weird for us because it's always, this is the same, very unorganized and chaotic and all over
fun.
the map.
You're doing great, sweetie.
So, all right. We are way off track as we tend to do all the time. But how is Australia? You go to Australia and then you that looked like some of the best views you could have had during the entire, maybe outside of Antarctica, but Australia looked gorgeous.
It was so beautiful. And I remember that was the first one that had just a ton of little back and forth. And my first thought was like, ooh, this is going to be boring. But it wasn't. Number one, because it actually turned out to be super cool to be able to see everyone and cheer for them so many times. And number two, because we were running through late afternoon and then sunset. And those of us who are slow enough were still running in the dark. But that was actually amazing because, we got to, it was different every time. So, and I caught a lot of Pokemon in Australia.
You do Pokemon?
Oh yeah. I told my sons I'd try to come back with at least one Pokemon from every place. I regret to inform you there are no Pokemon in Antarctica, at least not that I found. But,
that is very helpful information.
Yep. Maybe there's a Pokestop that I just didn't hit. But anyway, so it was great. Australia is also the only place where there was a bathroom incident. And it turns out that Australia was most likely the culprit behind my venomous spider bite.
Okay, number one, ew. And number two, oh my God. So
number
both
three,
of those
this is
things
the right place for this story.
Are terrifying to me, and I must know the details.
So the spider was, it didn't happen until we had just gotten our luggage back from, we hadn't touched it since Australia, and we got it back in time to get on a bus in Turkey. And so I had my backpack on my lap, and I had my smaller roller bag underneath my knees on the bus, and I'm just wedged in there and I can't move. And all of a sudden I got like this super, super painful, I thought it was a Charlie horse at first. And then it kept like going, and it was awkward because I was actually sitting next to a lovely person, but someone with whom I had not spoken yet. So like I did not know them well. And I'm sitting there thinking, is happening to my leg? And you know those like ropey tendons on the back of your knee, like the one on either side? I thought I tore one of those. That's how painful it was. And
Oh no.
this like white hot electric pain that is shooting down into my calf and up into my leg. And I'm thinking I wasn't even moving. I'm like, what happened? And so it was really painful for the rest of the 777. And I had what I thought were shin splints leading up to the race that turned out to be a tibial fracture. Oops. So I was already, kind of shuffling a little bit. So this absolutely made me shuffle more, but I don't take painkillers. And so the best I could do was like put some topical stuff on it that the race doctor had. But like I had them glance at it at first and they were like, well, maybe it's chafing or something because there was a red line extending away.
Oh no.
That's
spoiler.
I'm like terrified.
It wasn't
unlocked.
It was the venom. So I actually didn't get it officially checked out. I have one of my best friends is an ER nurse in Minneapolis, and I sent her pictures, and she was the one who, when I told her how it happened, she goes, I think that's a spider bite, and I bet you got it from Australia. And actually, one of the guys from the race and I, chatted about it a little bit, and I didn't get it looked at until I was back in the States, and the doctor they had a field day with this because this is in Minnesota. We don't have a lot of venomous spiders. So he was like, yeah, I 100% think it was a venomous spider bite. And we even think we know which one, but I will save you I could tell you, but
spare no details.
He's going to look it up and he's going to show it to me.
Yes. What do I look up?
Australian redback is what we think the culprit is. So
just tell me it's not one of those giant ones that you see on the side of like people's houses. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I never saw it. That's part of why I was like sort of in disbelief. But the doctor was like, well, it's too late for anti-venom. And, they don't have a lot of that sitting around in their desk drawers in Minneapolis anyway. So they prescribed me some antibiotics and they were like, keep us posted. So yeah, isn't that crazy?
Fingers crossed for you. Holy
of all the things my mom was worried about, like didn't even occur to her to worry about that. So yeah.
That is the most intense thing I've ever heard. That's probably the worst code brown I could think of because I really don't like spiders. I find like, well, all right, if it's like the tiny one with the long legs, it's not so bad. But like if it's like a big beefy spider with like the body that like there's just big black ones, I'm like, oh God, leave me alone. And I'll make my boyfriend come in and kill them because I just can't. I can't with spiders.
I'm kind of neutral. Like I'm not particularly afraid of them, but I'm not wild about the idea of one getting me in the middle of all this. Yeah. It wasn't the best.
I can just picture like trying to like being like, ow, what hurts? And like if you touched it or something, like I would have lost my shit. Sorry, new person sitting next to me. Yeah. I'm gonna be a crazy psycho and just like, I would not be able to.
Not gross Erika out. If you guys want to Google this, just Google Australian redback spider bite.
You know what? I'm probably gonna look at it later just out of curiosity, but I'm not gonna like it. But Ellen, holy shit. So
you ran more marathons after that. You waited to go back home to get looked at. You took time off in Miami to relax with this venomous, possibly deadly spider bite. People have died from this.
I mean, it was sort of an all-consuming event. Like it would have been, what was I going to do? Say, oh, a spider got me. I got to stop.
So wait, that's your code brown. You didn't have a code brown. That's your.
Oh no, there was that was. And again, I didn't actually get bit until we got our luggage back. Oh, and apparently the Australian redback specifically, I'm so sorry, Erika, likes to hide in luggage and or shoes, which is part of why. So this
nasty thing,
they guessed that based on like the way the bite looked and the like red lines, because I'd taken a bunch of pictures of it. But then when I told the story of like when it happened, they were like, "Oh yeah, for sure, it's the redback because they hide in luggage."
That's so gnarly.
Shoes.
I hate it.
I know.
God.
No, but in Australia, well, first of all, everyone and all the like various podcasts and all the things that I've heard the other participants talk about, they're always talking about how they all went either number one, number two, or both, like in the bushes or, you know, like hanging off the steps into the Bosporus Strait or something like that. And I'm like, I would very much like to be excluded from that narrative because I never once went in the bushes. I exclusively used toilets and once super duper in my pants. So
Super duper.
Not in a bush,
Yeah.
just in the pants.
well, my gosh, it was in
You
Australia.
should have
and
done
was
it where
like-
the fishermen were fishing because they were assholes, I heard.
that was by far my least favorite race, by the way, but we'll get to that. But real quick, it was only because it was right at the end of the race and it was nighttime, and I very confidently headed followed the signs for a bathroom, and then got there and they had like a full gate down in front of it. And so I timed that poorly. But in my case, I was actually fortunate to get tangled up shortly after with a little kid on like a scooter bike thing and went just full ass over tea kettles skidding across the pavement. So I was kind of banged up. And so I got to pass it off as like, you know, so then when I crossed and like people are like, oh, you know, let's talk to you on the live stream or whatever. I was like, I gotta go. I fell, which was true, but it was a bit of a cover story. So yeah.
They'll never know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How traumatizing that spider thing. I can't get over that. So
Yeah, sorry.
tell me about some good stuff that happened during these races.
So
Well, the
many
next
good
race was her
things.
least favorite.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
can just skip that one then.
Well, and I will say, like, in all of them, I didn't just sort of suffer through. I totally thought I was just going to be suffering through. I genuinely enjoyed them, like, other than race number 4, which was a bit of a sufferfest. But the rest of them, I'm like, I honestly had fun. Like, not just, you know, oh, this is okay, or I'm going to survive. Like, it was fun. So I think that's one of the most surprising parts. So overall,
I love it. I love
yeah,
it. That's what
yeah.
I like to hear.
Yeah.
And I think that, definitely you training for the ultras set you up well for these
I think
races.
so. I think so. I think the biggest thing was that I actually try not to run on back-to-back days. And I think part of that is just with the connective tissue disorder. Like, I'm just so prone to injuries anyway. And so the biggest thing was, you know, not just running on back-to-back days, but running long on back-to-back days. Like, that was a lot. But I think it was obviously a good thing to have done that because it was not nearly as awful as I expected. But yeah, Istanbul, in my case, I happened to be super nauseous. I don't know if I ate something weird, but I'm proud to say I have a very high pain tolerance, probably to a fault. And I've run through, you name it, in terms of injuries.
You gave
and
birth
I'm
to a
just
baby
sort
with
of
no drugs, you said, so.
that too, twice.
Not
and
a big deal.
So I have chronic pain resulting from this connective tissue disorder. And again, I don't take painkillers at all. So I've run through all manner of injuries and pain, and yet I have a hard time running through being nauseous. So I just did not feel good already. And of course, as you've heard, we started super late at night, and I, again, am so uncoordinated that the really uneven footing with, you know, like the cobblestones and the ramps and everything was already, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a disaster. And I don't mind running in the rain, but cold rain and wind is just kind of unpleasant.
Boston flashbacks.
Oh, well, it was nowhere near. The weather was nowhere. Again, like I said, nothing has ever, to this day, nothing has topped. I need to knock on wood. Boston 2018. But yeah, and then of course the fishermen just like backcasting into us. Like, it was at that point, it just felt like a parody of a marathon because I'm like dodging fishing lures and it was just bizarre. But you know, still, even with that, I give so much credit to the staff and the people, you know, because we're out there like getting glory and medals and everything. And they're out there just getting pounded by this rain and wind and, you know, not only having to be out there and not getting medals for it, but like, I honestly think I think it's much easier to have run all of these than to have managed the logistics. Like,
I can't even imagine what it would
Awful.
have taken to put on this race.
There is not enough money in the world to make me do that. Like, I cannot imagine. So I give them tons of credit that,
Yes.
and if me being like nauseous and damp was the worst thing, like, I feel like it was just a slam dunk successful event overall, because and then after that I remember firefighter Bex told you guys about how excited she was to sleep in the hotel that night, and that, we were only there for a couple of hours. And I remember, oh my God, first of all, I've never been in a hotel room with that many mirrors in my entire life. And it was like ornate gold everywhere and mirrors everywhere. And I remember getting in the shower, and I turn around halfway through the shower. I'm like scrubbing up my hair, and the entire back wall of the shower is a mirror, floor to ceiling. So I just had a jump scare, like,
oh my God.
Nearly fell out of the shower, because like nobody needs to see that, specifically not like 4 marathons in at 4:00 in the morning. And I don't even know if I slept at all. I will say my sister-in-law is just, in general, she is much more type A. She's a very responsible person. She works in education administration. She's really got her stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
If she had not been on this with me, I would still probably be like in an airport in South Africa wondering where everybody went. Because she's really sort of kept me on a leash. Thank you, Sarah. So anyway, that was Istanbul.
Isn't that also where Ben had the incident with the police?
Yes.
Ben almost got, I won't go as far as saying arrested, but maybe he did almost get arrested for just recording, apparently.
Yeah, they were not amused. They were not amused.
It just seemed like that place just wasn't good at all. Do you know, like, maybe we should talk to David Kelly one day, but do you know, like, are they going back to that same spot, or are they going
I don't think they are. I don't think they are. And I say this, like, I love traveling. I try to keep up with my age and the number of countries I've been to all 50 states. Like, I love it. And I feel like I, embrace differences, and am not like, I don't expect places that I visit to be like I'm used to. Like, it's the whole point that it's different in different cultures
different cultures
and everything. So I would never hold other spots to the same standard. But I will say there were a few odd things. Like, there was a guy who, every time I ran by, he was sitting at a bus stop, he would stand up and blow cigarette smoke directly in my face, like, for sure on purpose. Like, he would get up, block me, and then blow cigarette smoke in my face. And then the next day on the other side, there was multiple indications, I think, that perhaps women in particular were not as welcome there.
I see.
So, yeah. But I mean, still absolutely beautiful city, beautiful area, and a ton of really, really nice people. So I would never want it to come across as a problem in general. And it's not their fault that I was nauseous and it was raining at night. Like, that's not Istanbul's fault. So, yeah.
So what was next? Cartagena? Was that the next one?
Yeah. Well, so then the Asian side of Istanbul.
Oh, the daytime one. That's right.
Which that one, again, you've heard about the cats. That blew my mind. Yeah, that was so wild. And seriously, they're very well cared for. I couldn't believe it. And
I would have been super distracted. I would have been all about those cats.
Yeah. Well, and there was just, like, the first ones we saw, we were like, oh, cute, and took a picture. And then we're like, oh no, there's literally thousands. So, yeah, it was wild. But, and that one went great. But then, yes, off to Cartagena, which everyone else said that was their least favorite. But yes, it was oppressively hot, but I don't know. I loved it. Like, it, I think the heat index was 110, which is not only the hottest marathon I've done, but for sure the hottest run I've ever done. Because like, at home, it actually, people don't know this about Minnesota, but it gets really hot and humid in the summer. Like, it absolutely hits 100 and it's really humid. So same humid heat as down there. But if it was that hot, I just wouldn't run. Like, there's no way I wouldn't run. But it was super hot, obviously, but it was really beautiful, and they took really good care of us. Like, they had, I'm sure you've heard about the big barrels full of ice that we would just stick our arms in, like, up to our shoulders. And, I was constantly putting ice cubes like in my sports bra and under my hat and everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, it was unpleasant. That was my slowest one, intentionally because, I was like, Mom, in no hurry.
You
And
wanted to survive. You didn't want to end up like Mary Morgan. There.
oh, Mary Morgan, what a trooper, man. Yeah. And I will say that one, I know my mom was worried about me, but I think she was more worried about firefighter backs. In fact, like the whole time, because my mom was just glued to
because
the live
people are
stream.
like, take off the firefighter
I know.
suit, right?
She kept texting me being like, tell the firefighter that she's still a firefighter. It doesn't take away from what she's doing if she doesn't wear her whole kit. Oh, and Bex, okay, she said in her thing that her whole kit together, including the backpack, was only like 20 or 22 pounds. I disagree because we shared an Uber after one of the races and I like offered to take the like backpack thing with the oxygen tank and I grabbed it and just went thunk like right onto my lap. Like thing alone had to be at least 20 pounds. And so that's not even counting. So she was selling herself short. Like it was, I mean, that was nuts.
Unreal.
I still can't believe that she did that. Like, and that goes for a ton of people. Like anytime anybody asks, oh my gosh, how'd you do that? Like, it's totally not false modesty that I'm like, I don't know, like, I just sort of shuffled my way through the whole thing. Whereas just about everybody you talk to has these amazing stories, which is part of why I'm so excited to write this book is because like, everyone has these incredible backstories that you don't know about and things that they overcame to do it. So yeah. Anyway, long story short, Cartagena, super hot, but not bad. And I got to practice my crappy Duolingo Spanish and appreciated that. So yeah.
I just love your attitude. I am invested in this story. This is so much fun.
Which makes me want to say this or ask this. From what I remember seeing like after that race, everyone passed out, sleeping, tired, exhausted, hot.
Yeah.
Like, where was your mindset? Because you're the funny one. You got this amazing sense of humor. Were you still cracking jokes at this point? Or were you? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And in fact,
were keeping everyone alive and motivated and laughing and going.
Well, I think I was ramping it up because I made it my mission starting in like Cape Town. My goal was at least once during every race to make the live stream guy laugh. And so it became like a thing. And they were all of my commentary to him was totally off the cuff, except I was very proud of, I did plan one. And that was in Cartagena. And it was something about like, cause he was wearing a black shirt and had like dark colors everywhere. And he just looked like he was suffering miserably. And I was like, you got your flannel underwear on too, bud? Like nice shirt color choice. And so that was like, if he laughed, it was a successful race. And so I was totally ramping up the ridiculousness as the marathons went on. Shamelessly so.
I should have asked him, but he had a new shirt every day, right? He had to have.
I don't know. I will say
he didn't even have a winter coat when he went to Antarctica.
Right.
Didn't he have to borrow one?
He was that poor guy.
You have to wear this so you won't die.
Yeah, man, he probably had to sleep for 3 months after this. But yeah, I mean,
we had him on like 3 weeks later. It looked like he just woke up.
Yeah,
don't blame him.
I don't blame. I mean, he had a really hard job and like had to stick it out through all of those things. So
he did such a good job. What was so you had fun with him though? You interacted with the live stream and kicking some jokes around.
Yeah, that was, I mean, my main goal on the live stream was to let my mother know that I was alive. But
important.
Yeah. Well, and she, it'd be like 3:30 in the morning or something in Minnesota. And I'd be like, Mom, I promise not to die. Like, please go to bed. But yeah, no, I absolutely, would be flinging things at Ben on the way by. Like, at one point he was like, you're from Minnesota. Like, this must be extra hard for you. And I was like, yep, feel like a polar bear in a hot tub right now in Cartagena. Cause it was just, oh my gosh, like definitely I'm not built for that kind of weather. But yeah, no, Ben was a trooper. And a large part of my enjoyment for sure was seeing everybody else, engaging with other people, cheering them on, and also messing with Ben. Yeah. great source.
That would definitely be a high point for me.
Yeah.
Just got to get through it with some humor. And if you can mess with somebody too, that's a highlight.
Why not? Why not?
I'm going to share my screen. Is this your mom? And she has the "you're doing what?"
Oh, yeah.
on your Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. It's the best. That might actually be worth watching, that poor woman.
Let's check this out. You ready?
So 19 days after when the 100-miler would be, I will be running a marathon in Antarctica. And then the next day in Cape Town. And then the next day in Perth. And then the next day in the Asian side of Istanbul. And then the next day in the European side of Istanbul. And then the next day in Cartagena, Colombia. And then one more in Miami. 7 days, 7 marathons, 7 continents. This year? November. Have you talked to Sarah? She's going to. Does Ian know about this? Yes.
That was amazing.
Everything
was
about
so
that
good.
was incredible. All of the little like side reaction things, like, oh, you guys
Poor
need
woman.
to check out this on Instagram if you
She's
don't
used
check
to
it out
it.
on
That was so
YouTube.
good.
But like, just everything about that was amazing. That's the kind of shit I get from my mom, where she's like, "You're doing what?
Yeah.
What this time? Oh, okay, basically, don't die."
So much is just her just being like, why? Why?
Well, just watching her with the chin drop the whole time, like just
Oh, I
thinking
know.
Cape Town.
And like, if you look closely, she starts to like kind of hyperventilate.
Oh,
That poor woman. I know.
She's
I know.
like, "Did you tell Sarah? She's doing
Yeah.
it with me."
Yeah. I know. That was the
Does he
biggest
know?
shock, was like, well, and I found out later. So my mom tries to protect me from how scared she gets about things. Like when I was in grad school, I backpacked around Africa for a while, and I only found out after that, like, she was absolutely panicked the entire time. But so she tries to shield me from her actual feelings about all these things, because she's like the opposite of a meddling mom. She's actually very sweet, but she worries a lot. And I found out partway through that she had like a whole session with Sarah because she thought that I talked Sarah into it and was basically making her do it. And so she's like, basically like, I know that Ellen makes a lot of really not smart decisions. And I want you to know, you can tell her no, like, you don't have to do this, Sarah. And Sarah's like, no, I wanted to. But yeah, no, she was convinced that like I was the evil mastermind, which is fair because,
Right.
yeah. Anyway,
you planted the seed.
Well, and it's every time I want to complain about like, anything to do with my lovely children, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm in my 40s and my mom still has to deal with my crap. Like this is a long road I'm on here.
Now,
Yeah.
you had a bunch of bubbles popping up in that video. Some were great. I love that you censored it out and had the bleeping noise, just like this. But
Nice.
when one of those bubbles said that you had the connected tissue
Disorder.
syndrome
Yeah.
or something, tell us a little more about that.
Yeah. So it's called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. There's something else for you to mispronounce.
Thank you. I love it.
You're welcome.
I'm just going to do this every time I can't pronounce anything. I'll be like, Ellen Hunter.
You need the don't, like the, what is that, Price is Right one or whatever? Tell me about that.
I should add that, but right now I got
You
this.
need it. That's also
That'll
good. It's my 11-year-old plays the trombone, and I think he picked it up specifically to be able to make that noise and just troll all of us. But
Love it.
Thanks.
Love it.
So Ehlers-Danlos is a genetic connective tissue disorder. So you're born with it, but it often doesn't start showing up until like adolescence for most people, which was the case for me. And it is, they just finally did this big article in CNN about it, and they quoted a researcher saying that it's like something to the effect of the impact it has on people relative to the amount that it's funded and researched and understood. Like there's no other disorder like that has that bad of a ratio of being misunderstood. It manifests in a bunch of different ways because it affects connective tissue disorder, connective tissues. That's everywhere. Like it's in your brain and it's like all throughout your body. It's kind of the webbing that keeps everything in place. So like you have your organs kind of schlepping around where they're not supposed to be, and all kinds of things. And it leads to, I have the most common kind, which is the hypermobile version. So like we tend to be the kids that were doing like party tricks with, weird twisting things back before we knew what it was. And chronic pain and chronic fatigue are part of it. And frequent injuries, joint instability. I'm incredibly fortunate that I'm textbook in terms of my, like the markers that I hit and my symptoms, but my case is obviously mild. So a big reason that I wanted to do this was to bring awareness to Ehlers-Danlos. But I know one other person my age who has it, and she relies on a cane and frequently wears a neck brace. So it is not lost on me. And I never, as much as I want to produce awareness, I never want to be like, hey, other people with Ehlers-Danlos, like go do stupid shit like me. So, but yeah, I am glad. I actually just in the airport on the way to Boston, a woman, I was wearing a Great World Race shirt, and she approached me and said, did you do the Great World Race? And I said, yes. And she said, I don't know if you know the woman from Edina, that's the city in Minnesota. I don't know if you know the woman from Edina who did it, but you should tell her, like, I have a friend with Ehlers-Danlos, and it meant so much to her to see somebody do this. And I was like, I think that's me. And she started crying, and like, it was so weird. She like asked if she could hug me and was like crying. And then she went back to her group of friends. She's probably in her 50s. And she's like, I just met Ellen from the Great World Race. And I was like,
you're famous.
That's the only time anything like that is ever going to happen to me. But anyway, so I'm happy to even shed a little bit of light on it. And one of the most frustrating things is that since it impacts so many different systems and parts of you, that often you will go to specialists for years with various ailments. And unless somebody puts everything together, they're not going to be able to see it. And so when I was finally diagnosed, the doctor went down the list of like reasons that I'd seen, sought medical care, and was like, that fits, that fits, that fits, that fits, that fits. Like so validating. But there was a study that showed that from the first time someone attempts to seek answers to the time when they get an Ehlers-Danlos diagnosis, for men, it's 4 years, and for women, it's 16.
16?
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And for me, it was 21, 22. So, it's mysterious, and it's, for a lot of people, super debilitating. So I'm happy to shed a little light on this. And I don't know where my body's going to be. And, I will say running is, likely not recommended specifically to this level. So, I'm aware this is another reason my life insurance is not going to pay out on me.
Why is
but
that?
Well, because of the main thing is the joint instability. So, it creates sort of a laxity of your connective tissues. And so everything is looser than it needs to be. And so a lot of people dislocate things frequently. I don't tend to fully dislocate, but I'll do what's called like subluxate, which so something will come partially out of joint. But then in general, if you think about like if your knee is shucking around with every step, everything around there is going to get impacted as well. So even though hypermobility, there are parts of me that are like way over flexible, my muscles actually tend to be really tight, particularly around like my hips and everything, because the muscles are trying to save me from myself. And so they'll clamp down as tight as possible. And then you end up with tears and all kinds of things. So, now looking back, I would like to blame this for why I was such a terrible athlete in high school, but no, I was just a terrible athlete. But I was already just constantly injured way back then. So,
running's not the only thing you do. You do cross country skiing, and I gotta imagine like activity has to be good for your muscles. Is it any kind of activity could hurt you or be bad for you here, or is it just the way running happens to be is not as
it's very high impact. Running is high impact.
Yeah. Okay. Disclaimer: I am not a doctor, and this is not medical advice. In general, activity is good for those of people who can tolerate it with Ehlers-Danlos. Absolutely, it's good. And in fact, one doctor that I saw said that one of the best things I can do is try to build up muscle. It's difficult. One of the symptoms is it's really hard to build up muscle. Like the amount that I lift weights, I should be super swole. Like I wish, man. But supposedly that has a protective mechanism for your joints to have strong muscles. But swimming is very much recommended. I swam in high school, but haven't done much since, at least not since the Ironman. But like cycling for a lot of people is, the higher the impact, the less wise it is. So I may have picked one of the stupidest sports possible. So
we love you for it, though.
Mm-hmm.
We really do.
Thanks.
Well, let's talk. Do you mind talking about your Ironman? When did you do your Ironman? Was it a full? Was it a half?
Oh my God.
Oh, also that too. Well, all right, fine. We can skip the Ironman for now. We can talk about that. We can talk about the book.
Miami can be short and sweet. That I totally feed off crowd energy in general, and especially with the snarky commentary and everything. And I don't think I realized how much I missed having spectators. Until
because Miami was hopping basically.
It was so many people had friends and family coming down, and so the energy in Miami, and also just that sort of excitement about like we're done. So that oh my gosh, that was just the best vibes, best experience. So and I specifically to honor / embarrass my sons, I don't know if you know enough about football and specifically the Vikings to know what the gritty is, but it's like this dance that our big superstar Justin Jefferson does. It's like his touchdown celebration dance. So I did that across the finish line in Miami, and the Vikings did a story on it, which made my son's whole year because he's like, I'm on the Vikings homepage.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, Miami had great vibes. It was so much fun. And then it was fun to get to hang out for a little bit after. So yeah.
I was going to ask you if your family came down to visit, or if it was going to be like a celebration with you and Sarah together, like, oh yes, we finished. We're going to hang out in Miami for a few days after, but
yeah, they would have.
Who came?
I think, but my son actually had both like a band and a choir concert, and I was not about to have him miss those. I actually felt terrible that I missed them, but so they stuck around. But Sarah's parents came for the final race, and so obviously I know them, so I got to see them. And then it's firefighter Bex and Sarah and a good friend of Sarah and me all hung out for a couple days after, which was awesome.
That sounds like a well-deserved celebration.
Indeed. And we got matching tattoos, which you've probably heard about.
I think I did, yes.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a bunch of you got 7s, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're going to be seeing some people at the Grandma's Marathon this year.
Yeah.
So that'll be a nice little reunion. Have you bumped into anybody since? And is that going to be your only reunion that you're going to bump into some people at? What are some plans?
Well, that's the only one that I know of. I was literally walking down Newbury Street after Boston, and somebody grabbed my shoulder, and my initial instinct as a city kid was to, bopping back. But it was David Kelly and Dermot, his sort of right-hand guy. And so we knew they were in Boston, but imagine just
30,000 people walking around.
And an extra 500,000 spectators in town. So the fact that I literally bumped into them on the street was really fun. So, Yeah. And I mean, we, there's all sorts of chatter in the WhatsApp group. So eventually, I mean, oh my gosh, this is the dangerous part of being part of a WhatsApp group with a bunch of like really unhinged athletes who it seems like for the most part are, and I don't include myself in this, but like are either sponsored or clearly have a lot of time and disposable income to do stuff like this. And so they're always like, I think I'm gonna run up Everest next month if anybody just
That was
happens
Mary
to
Morgan,
be
wasn't
free.
it?
Yeah, well, and I mean, it's a constant stream of that.
Yeah.
It's just
I can see how
wild.
that would be dangerous. I would be suckered into at least a couple of things. Who knows what
Yeah.
it would be.
Yeah, and I keep telling my 5th grader, like, you know how the people who are around you make you think that certain things are normal when they're not. So I'm like, if you're around a bunch of kids who are, like stealing cop cars and selling drugs in 5th grade, like you start to think like, oh, well, that's just what people do. I'm like, so I got to be careful in this WhatsApp group because I'm going to start thinking that the most unhinged crap on the planet is like, oh yeah, like I should probably, see if I can roller skate across Canada this weekend. Like, why not?
Not a big deal.
I love
like
it.
across the country.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's no such thing as a really bad influence.
To be a fly on the wall.
Spoken like a bad influence.
Fun,
Jeez.
I love that you guys all still talk though. Like the group chat's still alive. People are meeting up. Everyone's going to grandma's, and it's cool to see. Kind of like Justin's in an airport right now, and Tariq came and visited him at the
I
airport.
saw that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
teased me. He said that he was going to the Minneapolis airport. And so I was all stoked to sneak him some Arby's or something. And, but no, he has not picked Minneapolis yet, which is probably good given the tornadoes.
I will probably be back in a couple of weeks. So you can sneak
Give
me
me
some
that.
Arby's.
I could sneak you some Arby's. Yeah.
Well, all right. I know Erika mentioned the Ironman, but we're going to have you back for this book. All right. When this book comes out, we're going to have you back and we're going to talk about everything we missed. But we've been talking for quite a long time. I feel like you have a secret to tell me.
You only need one thing. Please don't have me back on just for the Ironman. The only thing you need to know is that the difference between a good swim and a bad swim in the Ironman is like 20 minutes. The difference between a good bike and a bad bike is like 5 hours. So bad bikers should not do the Ironman. I did it. I finished. However, for context, my grandparents into their 90s would not bike with me because I'm too slow. So they'd be like, oh, honey, we'll meet up with you after. So I am for sure the worst Ironman biker in history. So it's not.
So which one did you do?
Exciting. Madison, which, was nice and hilly on the bike course.
Yeah.
So was that a one and done for you?
Yeah, mostly
Ironman-wise?
because the bike training alone would be a full-time job, 40 hours a week for me because I still can't quite figure out how to make those pedals go around. So yeah, it's tricky.
Just one
tricky
smooth circular motion.
You'd think, wouldn't you? I know. When my kids both learned to ride 2-wheelers, they're like, so what part is hard for you, Mom? And I'm like, I don't know, making it go forward.
Keeping it upright. That's my problem.
Anyway, okay.
We are going to have you back for the book because I'm excited now for this. But we are going to wrap this one up with our 2 final big questions.
Right.
You're probably a little bit familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Erika's is super difficult, and she gets everyone just thinking the whole time. But mine's super easy. I am hosting an On the Runs pasta dinner. It's imaginary, but we're going to make it real run day. You can bring anyone to this dinner, dead or alive, real or fictional, but you can only bring one person. Who are you going to bring?
Okay, well, I know from listening that Michelle Obama is already going to be there. So I would like to be seated next to her, please.
We can put you in that table. It might be a popular table, though.
That'd be cool.
I think I requested it too.
Well, this makes me super nerdy, but I kind of want to get that Shackleton guy, the one who got stuck in Antarctica. Like, I mean, he's been dead for a really long time, but I want to swap Antarctica stories with him, I think.
And you know what's fun is I looked him up during this, and I'm going to like obsess over this for the next couple of days, reading about that story.
Yeah,
like,
it's fascinating.
Stuck in Antarctica.
It's wild.
I swear I just watched a documentary on this. Like, I forget. I'll look it up and I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Can he come up and tell us a story about the time stuck in Antarctica?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. Well, see, mine is easy, but Erika's is super difficult. So, and that's why she keeps it every year. She doesn't want to change it up because she likes stumping everybody. But Erika, go ahead with your question.
I'm just making an epic playlist here. So, Ellen, we have a Spotify playlist, and we like to invite our guests to add a song to it. So it could be anything that would pump you up for a workout, anything that's just going to keep you out of that pain cave, just something that's genuinely you. Is there a song that you would like to add?
So I take this question very seriously, and I will say a newer one. So I have the same 3 songs that I only ever listen to them at the end of a marathon or long race. And now it's to the point where, because I don't listen to them very often, I only do it in that context, I have like a visceral response when I hear them. But I'm not picking one of those 3, because the song that kept me and Sarah going during the Great World Race was Pink Pony Club by Chappell Roan. And it was just perfect because it kept getting stuck in our head. And especially like in Cartagena, you know, we'd just be like scream singing, God, what have you done? Because, you know, what have we done? So that's my final answer.
That is a wonderful choice. Excellent song. Total banger. It deserves a spot.
That was super awesome. This was fun. Like, we're an hour and 41 minutes into this right now. We barely cracked.
I could keep chatting. I really could. Ellen, I hope I can bump into you at a race. Like if I come to Grandma's next year, I hope that I can stop and say hello and just, I don't know. I'd love to just pick your brain and hear your jokes and hang out some more.
I mean, I'm not just saying this. If you come to Minneapolis, like if you want to come do like Fans or Twin Cities or whatever, like you come while I'll be a good host. So yeah, absolutely.
I hope your injury resolves itself soon. I hope you find something crazy to do that we can hear about, and just keep in touch because I think you are absolutely amazing. And this was so much fun.
My mother's going to hate that you said that, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry.
I'll tell her. Erica
sorry,
told
not
me to.
sorry.
Erica told me to. Thanks, y'all.
I'm a bad influence where I'm like, you should do something crazy, but you can insert the crazy thing. Like you can pick.
Oh, I can insert the crazy. That has never been a problem for me.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much for reaching out after the 777. Love hearing those stories, and thank you for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care, y'all.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Ellen Hunter Gans.
You did!
On the Runs podcast.
Yay! Well done.
Ellen, a.k.a. Helen Cans. Oh, God, that was funny.
Thought it was Gans.
It is Gans. You
said Cans.
You kept calling her Helen Cans. That's her alter ego now.
You just said Cans. I'm not even going to edit it out. You'll have to listen.
Ellen, a.k.a. Helen Cans. That's what
you making fun of me?
Yes, I'm making fun of you.
I think you're just trying to recover yourself here.
No. The listeners will back me up on this one. So I have to say, I had a blast totally nerding out with you, especially about the Pokemon thing. I don't even know if you still play, but I was telling Eric right before we got back that I, just as we were talking for these tros, I caught a shiny one. So you'll get it. You'll get it. So,
yeah. Pokemon people will. Fun. Ryan Painter will get it.
Yeah. It's so nerdy, but I love it.
Hey, I want to tell you, Ellen was amazing. Thank you so much. And fun fact, she's from Minnesota. Mm-hmm. I was just in Minnesota again. And our guest next week is also from Minnesota. Past member of the podcast coming back next week. So take a guess there. There's your clue. Past member, current, always full-time PodFam member from Minnesota back on the pod next week. Going to be a lot of fun. But I want to talk to you about somebody. And what's cool about this is somebody's listening to the podcast from the beginning. And I don't think they listen to the episodes like as they come out as well. So she's going to hear this weeks or months from now, right? But I got a message from Lori Bennett, and I don't know if you know Lori, but Lori on Instagram is Bennett Lori. So just flop them around.
Hi, Lori.
She sent me a couple messages a while ago, just said, I wanted to let you know I love your podcast, and goes into details on that and tells me she has a big race coming up. So I tell her, I can't wait to hear about your race.
Mm-hmm.
She messaged me the other day. Here's an update. I successfully completed my 100K run with the help of 14 episodes of your podcast. I would have gotten through more, but my friends kept wanting to run with me. I love your podcast. Hope to get through them all over the summer while I train for the New York City Marathon.
Oh,
So
that's excellent.
I thought that was so cool. 14 episodes
Lori,
during 100K.
congratulations. I really hope that you're not sick of us, because I would be sick of us at that point. That's a lot of us. But thank you for listening. That's so cool. And yeah, 100K, that's amazing. Way to go.
Insane. So she looks super cool. I don't know the connection. Recently found us, but the mutual friends we have are friends from our Will Run For family.
Oh, I love it.
So
we love them.
That might be a way. And I love that. Hey, Will Run For, what's up? Keep going. They're still podcasting. They're still doing their things.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to be on their Inside the Runner studio, they sent a post out the other day saying if anyone wants to be on, reach out. So reach out, guys. They're awesome. All
it was a ton of fun.
Them.
We can both attest to that.
Yeah. So, all right, let me ask you this. Where are you right now on the Pitt?
So the last time we spoke, I was 2.5 episodes in. I am now 2 and maybe 2/3 of an episode.
Oh,
I did not get to finish that.
Is it not good to you?
No. Okay. So I have a full house at the moment. We have some house guests, and they just my house is not quiet enough to watch a show like that.
Okay.
I need total concentration.
I totally understand, because I have not started the 3rd and 4th episode of the Dale Earnhardt documentary.
Oh, neither have I.
Because I need that quiet time and space, and I need to prepare myself, because I was told I'm going to cry.
Oh, no. Oh, well,
Yes.
I mean, we know you cried when it happened, so I can imagine how this is going to bring back some memories for you.
I know what happens.
Well, yes, but still.
Right. But a lot of people talk about,
and...
it's a tearjerker or whatever. So I'm like, really, what they do? What direction did they go here?
I cry at everything. I'll probably cry during it too. We can commiserate together over.
I know. Yeah. So we'll do that. But I am now 6 episodes in on the Pitt, because I've been able to kind of watch the Pitt while doing some other things. So I don't want to talk about it so much without giving anything away to you.
Well, let me just put one point that I've noticed just from the first 2 episodes, maybe 2.5 episodes. But I enjoy how if they lose a patient, they'll actually take a minute, a moment of silence. And I was like,
that really happens?
I don't know, but I love that they do that. I think that's really respectful. And that just kind of resonated with me. So I'll have to take all these other notes, but I'm so jealous you got to watch more of it.
So I remember in ER, a patient would die, right? And they would all kind of be it would be quiet, but all you'd hear would be the frustrating taking off the gloves and throwing them in the trash and clean this up. And then eventually they just kind of walk out and they all go their separate ways, because they all have to deal with that in their own way. Yeah.
And these guys have to deal with it in their own way too, but at least they kind of acknowledge what happened. What could we have done? What do you know about this patient? What was kind of special about them? And I was like, oh, that's really
more
nice.
People have passed, but what I'm assuming is you're seeing the person who passed away, who was the student doctor. It was his first patient.
Yes, he did 25 minutes of CPR on the guy.
Yeah, he just kept going, and they kept letting him go. And I think they're he just has to. You can't take this away from someone on their first. Yeah.
It was a learning experience for him. Well, not just a learning experience, but just an experience in itself, Not a great one, but gotta try.
I'm going to call him Carter, even though he's not Carter, but he's Carter in ER. Dr. Robbie. Yeah. It's short for something else, but
Robinovich or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like he was I'm not going to let you stop as long as we don't over abuse it, because you don't want to have that whole I wish I could have kept doing more. They took it away from me. Like they let him experience it.
Yeah.
And it was, something else. And I think they see something in this young doctor. So it's if you haven't watched yet, this is a teaching hospital at the same time, just like the one in ER. So all the students go to this one and they have to take them and teach them. And it's really cool to see those moments of teaching and showing someone like cutting the skin for the first time, walking them through it. Here's my observation, though, about ER versus the Pitt now. The Pitt is on HBO Max. There's no limits. They can say as many fucking F-bombs as they want.
You know what I noticed, too? They have some gratuitous nudity in there. Like, they'll like cut a lady's shirt and a boob pops out. I was like, did you really need to go there? Did you?
Oh,
I think I saw a peen. I saw a peen in there, too.
You're going to see a lot more.
Really? But I'm like, I don't think that's necessary.
But it's real. That's what it is like in real life.
Yes, I get that. But I'm just like,
I remember watching ER and having it on DVD and seeing some of those type of like almost nudity scenes and be like, well, wow, they got away with that. And occasionally they could swear more in the 90s on network. They can't now. But there's no limits on this one. None.
Gotcha.
I'll let you catch up. We'll talk about...
Yes, please.
Like, I don't want to put pressure on you, but I would love you to get halfway through. It's 15, so I'd love for you to get to 6 or 7.
I'll see what I can do. We will not... Our house guests will be heading out on Saturday. So I have a trail race. Once I come home from my trail race, I'm going to melt into my couch.
And we'll probably talk on Sunday.
That's okay.
We'll just see what kind of night you have.
Yeah.
All right.
Melt into my couch and hope that I didn't break something from these trails.
All right.
Thank
Very
you,
cool.
Hill.
Hey, our guest is about to jump on, but we need to end this quickly with a congratulations. I have a congratulations to give out. My favorite Patreon, Tom McManus. He's reached another level in life, and he hit that retirement mark.
Happy retirement, Tom.
Congratulations to Tom and the McManus family and Mary and Ruve, because I think Mary is long past retired. Guys, enjoy this next chapter. Love you so much. Thank you for all your support you do. You guys are awesome. If anyone else wants to be an amazing Patreon of ours, join our Patreon family. We're going to put a lot more out. We just put something out the other day. We're going to do, you know what I thought we could do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to oversaturate those phone calls.
Oh my God, that was so fun. We could call our patrons.
We could, I was thinking we could do like maybe that every month, but every other month it's a Patreon only.
Oh my God. I had so much fun with that. I would love to do that.
It was a blast. That was a blast. And then the reel I made after and me being like, Jess, did you block me?
Don't give up on me. We haven't, Jess. We still love you.
It was great. To her credit, even if she didn't have my number. Half those numbers you had to give me.
And I hope it was okay. I hope I wasn't like infringing on our trust. But I mean, I was there too. It was just a group phone
I have
call,
nobody's number, which is by design. But like, I don't even have pterodactyls yet. We just talk on Facebook. Hey,
that's on you guys. I don't know.
This was awesome. You guys rock. Thank you so much. Please go out there and support the brands that support us. Check out My Race Tats. Check out Right Sock. Check out Firefly. Maybe one day I can really say check out UFOs. Erica, get to work. Don't forget, June 28th, the Goffstown Gallop. We're going to be there. You can get a t-shirt with our On The Runs logo on it. Support us. Everything's in the show notes. Click the links. Support. We love you guys. Everything you're doing out there to support us is really helping. I love it. Thank you so much. You guys rock. Erica, take us home.
Just one quick thing before we leave.
No, I'm kidding.
No, I just want to say I think your kids' bikes are really cute, and I hope we see lots of videos of them riding their bikes around because that's adorable.
It was pretty cool. I'm super excited.
Yeah, we didn't get to talk about ourselves.
I got 10% off for buying 2 bikes. It's like one of the first twin discounts.
Parenting hack. But anyways, we'll get back to it. Thank you guys so much for listening, for always listening. You know we love you.
Don't forget to check out the Ali G Show and Movement People that dropped this week. You guys rock. Don't fear the code brown.
And don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1.
We are wicked excited to welcome Helen. See, I did it again.
Dude, you nailed every part except for that. Oh,
I was going to say that was
You were on a
amazing. You were on a
roll.
roll.
We are wicked excited to welcome Ellen Hunter Gans.
That was on purpose. You totally did that on purpose.
We are wicked excited to welcome Helen Hunter Gans to the On the Runs
Can
podcast.
I just do it? Can I just do
Close
it?
enough. Close enough.
What did
You
I do
said
wrong?
Helen again.
Helen,
Ellen.
you got to leave all these
Ellen.
in.
Like Ellen DeGeneres. Okay, here we go.
Should.